Okay, so what if I told you the secret to getting more done wasn't to push harder, but you actually intentionally hold back? It's a powerful, kind of weird idea, and it's called the 77% rule. But to even begin to understand it, we have to start with a simple, kind of jarring fact. We've all been told a lie, a big one. And it's a lie that has completely shaped how we think about work, about success, and about our own ambition.
And this is the lie right here. On one side, you have the hustle myth. You know the one. 100% effort all day, every day, that's the only way you succeed. But then there's the reality for so many of us. That constant 100% effort doesn't lead to success. It leads to breakdown. It leads to burnout.
So let's pull back the curtain on this thing. We're gonna really unpack this 100% lie and see exactly why it is so damaging.
Think about a car's engine for a second. What happens if you push it to the red line and just keep it there? It breaks, right? It totally breaks down. Well, the exact same thing happens to us. This state of chronic overwork, it's called redlining. You know the feeling. You're constantly tired, your focus is completely fried, and even with all that effort, your biggest goals just feel further and further away. Sound familiar?
So if redlining is the problem, then what in the world is the solution? Well, it's time to introduce the 77% rule.
The rule itself is incredibly simple, but man, it feels totally wrong at first. This isn't about short-term sprints. This is all about the long game. The whole goal is to get the maximum output over time by operating at only about 77% of your total capacity.
77%. That's the magic number, not 100. This leaves you with a 23% buffer. Think of it like a strategic reserve of energy. It's a buffer for recovery, for creativity, and for dealing with all the unexpected stuff that life is definitely going to throw at you. This is the perfect way to think about it. Professional marathon runners, they don't just blast off the starting line at a full sprint. If they did that, they'd be toast before mile 5. No, instead, they find a threshold pace. It's a sustainable speed that they know they can hold for all 26 miles. That pace, that is their 77%.
So why exactly does the 100% approach fail so spectacularly? Well, it's because it pushes us right into 3 specific, really destructive traps. Let's take a look at each one.
These are the culprits right here. First, there's context switching, which leads to this nasty thing called mental rot. Second, that vicious, always tired cycle. And third, a tricky little mind game called the sunk cost fallacy.
All right, so trap number 1, context switching. This is what happens when you're at 100% and you're trying to do everything at once. You're juggling emails, projects, meetings, but get this. Research shows that after every single one of those little interruptions, it can take your brain over 20 minutes just to get back into a deep flow state. That's not being productive. That's just exhausting yourself. And then there's the physical toll. You push too hard, you work late into the evening, and it completely messes up your sleep. And bad sleep means you start the next day already drained, which leads directly to that afternoon crash we all know and hate, right around 1 to 4 p.m. So you grab more coffee to power through, which just ruins your sleep again, and around you go. And finally, the mental trap. When you're burned out, your judgment just gets cloudy. You fall right into the sunk cost fallacy. You keep pouring hours and hours into some task that isn't even that important just because you already started it. You don't have the mental energy or clarity to step back, see that it's a waste of time, and just stop.
Okay. Enough about the problem. We've diagnosed it. Now let's talk about the solution. And this isn't some abstract theory. This is a practical, hands-on system you can start using today.
So how do you actually do this 77% thing? Well, here's a simple system. First, the rule of 3. Just pick your top 3 most important tasks for the day. That's it. Second, the Trident calendar. Block out your mornings for that deep, focused work and leave the afternoons for the easy stuff like email. And third, my favorite, schedule boredom. Seriously, that 23% gap in your day, that's for thinking, for letting your mind wander. That is where the great ideas come from.
When you actually start putting this system into place, you're going to discover something pretty profound. You're going to discover the incredible power of intentionally doing less.
Now let's be super clear. This is not a system for being lazy, not at all. It's a system for being sustainable and really, truly effective. It's all about achieving a state of feel-good productivity, where you end your day feeling energized and proud of what you did, not just drained and defeated. And here's the psychological magic of it. When you lower the pressure on yourself,
When you stop demanding 100% perfection every single day, you make it so much easier just to get started. It's less intimidating to tackle a task when you know good enough is okay. And it's those small, consistent wins, day after day, that add up to really remarkable results in the long run.
So I'll leave you with this question. Stop trying to give 100% to a world that will happily take 110% and ask for more. Instead, ask yourself, what could you really achieve over the long haul if you just gave yourself permission to aim for less?